Hey guys, it's Heather, the Crochet Witch. I'm hanging out at work, out in my car on my lunch, just working on this, since I got the scarf done and delivered to my boss. She did love it, by the way. I'm working on this latte cake shawl that you may remember from, I don't know, like maybe a week or so, maybe, no, more than a week. Maybe it was before Vlogtober started. And it was just in my last podcast. So maybe like 2 weeks ago. But I'm attempting to wheedle down my wall of latte cakes because like I have these cubicles for my yarn, and it's sitting on my grandma's table that I used as a craft table since I like inherited it. It passed on to me, whatever. Nothing special. I mean, it's just sentimental value table. It's not anything special, except to me. But these cubicles are sitting on that. But in front of the cubicles, I have managed to build up this like wall of latte cakes that I probably should be ashamed of, but I'm not. And I love them. But I need to use them. So I'm making like some cakes I only had like 2 of colors of, so like this one, and this one is in the colorway Gray Shock. I just started the second cake, so I think it's going to be a pretty good size shawl. It's really hard for me to show you like in the car, but I'll show you tonight, I'm sure, of my progress since probably when I was talking about doing the, what did I call them, weekend whip segment, if you will, I will probably do that after Vlogtober because I started thinking about it and I was like, you know, I kind of tend to give you guys updates and show you how far I've gotten each day anyway. So tonight I'll probably just, you know, do that. I don't know where I'm going with that. I totally brain farted for a second. Tonight I'll show you my progress and we'll talk about it again, I'm sure. So it'll be the same video. So you guys will be like, "Oh, Heather, you've already said that." But after Vlogtober's over, I will probably start doing weekend whips. Well, I don't know, because like during Vlogtober, I'm gonna have basically a 2-week vacation that'll start. It'll start in October. It'll end in November, and then depending on how David is scheduled, my weekends won't be weekend. I won't have Sunday and Monday off. I'll have possibly Fridays and Sundays off. So it won't be, I mean, it'll still be the weekend, and like for all of you with normal type jobs or work at home jobs or just no jobs, you all, I'm sure, just count weekends as weekends. So I probably should realize that, and not just my weekend. I am really babbling right now. Like, if you can't tell, like my 30 minutes is almost over, and I swear like 30 minutes is just not enough when your brain is like overloaded at work. Y'all feel like that sometimes? Anyway. Also, if I didn't mention it, I think I mentioned it in the podcast, but this is like we've all done shawls like this. Like, you can see the pattern now when I hold it up better, I'm sure, but it's just a pattern like that I came up with. So I'm just kind of, I'm not following a pattern, I'm just doing my own thing and seeing how it works up, and I'm happy with it. There's no point in doing like the back posts of that. My favorite shawl to do is that one that I've shown you a couple times, that when I found it, it's like, you know how there's like the granny meets virus shawls? Well, this was like a granny meets something German that I'm gonna butcher, or Austrian or something, but it's called like a Deichspiel and something, and it's basically like, mostly it's just double crochets, chains, and then there's a row of back post double crochets. I think it's back post. And I did a Granny Meets that shawl, and then after that I started taking out the granny part and just making that part. I couldn't find an actual pattern for just that shawl, which is weird. I would have assumed it would have been a more popular shawl since somebody meshed it with a granny shawl, but I couldn't find one, so I basically just omitted the it's easy enough. I mean, like I said, it's just double crochets and chains and back post double crochets, but I omitted the granny part, and so now I just do the shawls, the Deichspiel, whatever. Can never pronounce that. And I think it's kind of mutated in my mind a little bit too, like it's one thing and then somehow my mind calls it another thing, so I start saying like a mixture of the two, and whatever I'm saying, it's not right, just so you know. But I will try to remember to link it. And if you go through my previous podcasts, which right now there's only 19 of those. Seems weird. I mean, I do a lot of separate videos, like I do shopping trips and hauls and stuff, so I guess that's why I don't have as many podcasts. But anyway, if you go back in my podcasts, I know that I've linked it a couple of times. So if you're like super curious before I get to the linking, they are there somewhere. And I got like, not bored, but like I got with the program a little bit and tried to be a professional YouTuber and made playlists for my stuff. So there are playlists for my podcast, there's playlists for my shopping trips, there's a playlist for Vlogtober if you're interested, or if you've missed them, if you're just now joining. Which, by the way, if you're just now joining, welcome. I appreciate you guys joining in and hanging out, and I hope everybody likes it here with us and stays for a while. Yeah. So I'm just kind of spending my break in my car, and I was listening to that new Bon Jovi CD that my husband got me, but copyright, so I can't share that with you guys. Might be able to get a video of the sunset from here. It's gonna be pretty, I bet, because there's like some clouds hanging out and all that. But I think since I'm really starting to babble, I'm going to go, and I will see you guys tonight when I do the advent calendar and the trivia facts and all that good stuff. So I'll talk to you later, guys. Bye. Hey guys, it's Heather, the Crochet Witch, and welcome to Vlogtober Day 14. I think I'm getting better at this. At the intro and knowing that it's Vlogtober anyway. I don't know that my excuse me, I don't know that my actual vlogs are getting any better, but I'm trying. By the time you are watching this, it will be Tuesday, October 14th, 2020, or later if you're catching up later. So what happened today? I worked and it was an okay day. And I delivered the scarf to my boss. She loved it. She's thinking about ordering another one, actually, because she liked the corner to corner and the pocket design and everything on it. So we'll see how that goes. What else? I know I videoed like a talkie part in my car earlier, which you'll see, which was really weird, and I was really like losing my train of thought more than usual and maybe just distracted, I guess, a little bit, and I don't know. I guess it is what it is. Hopefully I wasn't like too weird. And then I got home, made dinner in my oven, which now works. And my husband was like, "Oh, I'm installing a update for those of you that don't know. I am a big gamer person, like not a bunch of different games, but I play World of Warcraft and I play some Diablo and I play Hearthstone. So basically a lot of Blizzard games, if you're familiar with the company. They're all from the same maker. And we were supposed to get, I promise this is relevant to the day, but we were supposed to get the new expansion. Like it's already been bought and downloaded, and it's just basically waiting for release, and that was supposed to be in the next couple weeks. And they pushed it back, which I guess, like, they've never done that before. I understand why they did it, because I'm assuming they found a few bugs that they just felt needed to be fixed before they made it available. But of course I'm disappointed, because it was coming out like the week, like my vacation, my work week starts on a Monday, and it was coming out that Monday or Tuesday, and that would have been so cool to have 2 weeks to level up my characters and stuff. But that's fine. However, so leading up to the day before it was pushed back, they have done a bunch of patches and they're still carrying on with like pre-patch things and all that. And so getting back to where this ties in with today, when I got home and I started making my food, my husband was like, "Oh, I have stuff downloading on your computer, updates for drivers or graphics cards or something, because when his update for the game downloaded, because he plays too, it told him that his stuff was out of date and this and that, so he didn't want me to have those problems. So it was very sweet of him to start downloading. So the download goes through multiple multiple restarts later. If you've ever updated things like that, you'll know there's several restarts that usually are involved. And I go to settle in, and I was gonna like crochet for a little bit and watch a couple of videos, and then come into my yarn room and do our video together that I'm doing right now. And I was like, "Oh, that's weird. I have, instead of speakers, I have like a sound bar that he'd gotten me for my birthday. I think I mentioned it at my birthday time. But I was like, oh, that's weird. Like the one and only bad thing about the soundbar is that it turns off, and you have, like, it's behind my monitors, so it's hard to get to push the on button. But it comes with a little remote. It's just, I guess, like, I'm so used to years and years of speakers on the computer, just coming on when the computer comes on. Whenever it makes a sound, a speaker's there and is making sound, and the sound bar you have to turn on. So like, it's not, I'm definitely living with it, and it's fine. But tonight I went to go turn it on, and I'm like, my sound bar isn't working, and it's a new sound bar. So I knew it, and it was not the sound bar, because as I came in here, he had plugged the auxiliary cable or whatever into my phone before I came in here, and played a song. And so like, the actual sound bar works, but for some reason my computer is saying that there's no devices detected. So I don't know if something with the update screwed with it. I don't know if it needs an update to the sound cards because of the other stuff getting updated. I was kind of just hovering over him because he's sitting at my desk to fix it, which he has to do, and that's fine. But like, my crocheting is right there. My crochet books that I would be looking up other patterns for right now are there, and I'm just kind of in his way, hovering. So I do not have the shawl to show you guys, but you did see it in the car, and I'll show you tomorrow. But I mean, it is probably almost my full wingspan, and I like to have them just a little bit bigger. And I had only 2 cakes in that color, so I wanted to just use the cakes up and be done with it. So, but the shawl that I'm making, I made up a little pattern too, and I'm making it out of latte cakes, is out there where he's troubleshooting. I think when I came in here, he was looking up driver updates, so I'm guessing that that's what he's at least thinking the problem could be. I really hope it gets fixed. But yes, that's how my day has been so far. It's been okay, except for this setback. And my desk is like another work area. Like, I'm at my desk more often than I'm in my craft room. Especially because, like I said, like, this area over here that you guys don't see is a hot mess. It is full of, it's got some of Damon's stuff from when he moved in, because the room he's in doesn't quite fit all of his stuff. So it's kind of like the overflow storage area. The closet is full of the wedding stuff that hasn't gotten used yet because the wedding hasn't happened yet. So there's no storage in the closet for things like I have like a few bags of finished objects that, like, some of them I'm keeping and some of them I'm putting in the Etsy store. It's just sort of a matter of sorting it and frankly getting it on the Etsy store. So that's, and any yarn that I haven't like put away on a shelf here or in the living room is sitting over there too. So, hot mess. And that's why you guys can't see it, because I don't want anybody to see that. But I would like you guys to think it's all at least as organized as you're seeing over here. Yeah. Anyway, where was I going with that? Oh, I spend a lot of time out at my desk actually, like, crocheting it, because I mean, my computer's there. Since I hadn't set up this room yet, I didn't have like my laptop down here. I still, like I had confessed, I have this wall of Caron cakes that I need to find a home for or work through or whatever. That's like been my new mission, like that shawl is, because I was trying to work through some like random colors. I have some in like blanket quantity from last year. Like, I have the dark gray, I have the brownish coconut color, and I have the one that was like autumny colors, like red and yellowy. I have like blanket quantities of those. And then I have like odds and ends of the rest. So the odds and ends ones, I've been trying to figure out what I'm doing with them and just do something with them. And yeah. So, oh, I got off track twice now. But my point was, since my desk is like the computer area and a work area, like I'm sure it's frustrating to David because like I have random yarn and project pieces that are sitting out there, and they're going to be all in his way and stuff. So instead of him dealing with that and me hovering over him, I came in to do the video and talk to you guys. So I did not grab the shawl. Was like a really long story to get to the end of that. Sorry. That being said, since I don't have anything to show you guys, I guess I filled a little bit of time with boring story time. What? I'm trying to think of comments that I may have gotten that I was going to answer. Oh, okay. I was going to talk about, several of you guys were asking what candy corn is, because I talked about candy corn in trivia last night. We looked it up, and of course that was on my phone, and I'm recording on my phone because I was going to read you the definition, and I didn't write it down from my computer because my husband's working on it. I just didn't foresee this whole computer thing being a problem tonight. But it's a sweet hard candy, not hard candy, sorry. It's a sweet candy that's made from honey and some other ingredients that I can't remember. So it's sweet like honey. I wouldn't say that it's honey flavored because I don't really like honey. But if you've ever, I don't know if you've never had candy corn, you may never have heard of this either. But there's a brand called Brach's, B-R-A-C-H-S, and they make something called mallow pumpkins, and they're about, I don't know, about an inch big. And they're little pumpkins. They're actually round, like 3D pumpkins, which are my favorite thing. And like every year I buy a bag, and they're so super sweet that I cannot, like I go the whole season with the one bag. I can't eat more than one or two at a time. But they remind me a lot of candy corn. So if you happen to have had that, that's what they taste like. I would say they're not like Peeps, where Peeps are marshmallows and they're marshmallowy and they're puffy. And if you could take a marshmallow and mix it with honey and make it this, like, it's not hard like butterscotch, like the butterscotch that you suck on, or Werther's or anything like that. There's a chew to it, but it's not chewy. It's not like gum. It's like almost waxy. Like I think my friend Joe is the one that said it tonight, that he thinks there's beeswax in it, but maybe it's just that consistency. I know there's honey, but it is almost like a really sweet, waxy consistency. I don't know if I'm explaining it very well, but as many people as say that it's like awful and the world's worst Halloween candy, there are a lot of people that like it too. I like it. I think it's fun to eat because you can play with your food and make little Dracula teeth because I'm a child. I ended up asking my friend Christian. He's like one of my very best friends. We met because of the band Fozzy that we both listen to, because Fozzy's my friends, and he's a big fan also. And Christian lives in Australia, and so I messaged him tonight, and I'm like, have you had candy corn like when you were here visiting, or do you have it there? And he's like, no, I've never had it. So I kind of talked him into actually buying some and trying it too. But yeah, so Australia doesn't have it, and I don't know. I hope I'm doing it justice explaining. It is really good. I promise it's really good. Like, I shouldn't promise, but it is really good. I am gonna quit babbling now. I don't know how long it's gonna take him to fix that. So I was spending time with you guys, but nothing happened today, so I don't have like a lot to talk about. I made the little clip of like me crocheting, and I showed you guys the sunset from my job, from the view of my job, and I talked a little bit. Like I said, I know I got real spacey and weird during it, so please don't judge me. But I think I should stop umming and stalling and just move on to the homemade Hubby advent calendar. I said I'd stop umming, but I'm not. That was a lie. Sorry. If you haven't joined me, the homemade Hubby advent calendar was me not having the funds for a proper advent calendar for Halloween. And so my husband has went out to various stores, possibly online, although I've seen no evidence of that so far, or local yarn shop. No evidence either so far. But he's went to Hobby Lobby, Michael's, Joann's at least, and found yarns that he thought would be interesting to show off or to work with. And he wrapped them, and then Damon numbered them at random, and here we have day number 14. So let's get to opening. Last night, I don't think anything's gonna top last night, honestly, because last night I opened up my favorite yarn ever, which was Landscapes, Lion Brand Landscapes. He did an amazing job picking that yarn out, I will say. What is that? No blue. Okay, I didn't know this was a color. I've never had this before. It's, where did this come from? I don't recognize this price tag. It's Red Heart Super Saver, which I have had. Fair Isle, though, which is, I believe, the design that it makes. Because if you notice, these aren't variegated, well, it's variegated, basically, and in different patterns. So that it knits up and crochets up in kind of a pattern, I believe. I've seen the bright colored ones. I had no idea, like, a gray, black, and white version existed. I wonder where this came from. This is called Newspaper Fair Isle. I'll show you that again. And let's see. It is a medium 4-weight. The suggested hook size is an I, and the needle size suggested is a US 8, which is a 5mm, which has been most of the yarn that I've opened so far. It is 100% acrylic. This Red Heart Super Saver Fair Isle was made in the USA of imported fibers. That's pretty cool. See this right here, the pattern picture? This is every single time I hear Fair Isle, Red Heart Fair Isle, I think of this exact colorway. I don't know what it's called. I've never had it. I've never had any Fair Isle. But see how there's like different, like the red and white makes a certain pattern and the blue and white makes a certain pattern. It's that color anyway that I always think of. And let's see, back to this. 100% acrylic, machine wash and dry. Like, it's your basic Red Heart Super Saver. In this particular skein, there is 5 ounces, which is 141 grams, which is 236 yards, which is 215 meters. Let's see. The pattern says this scarf uses 2 skeins. Not a terribly big looking scarf. So I don't know yet what I'll do with this unless it goes into like a blanket of, like, if I make double crochet squares maybe instead of just granny squares. The pattern might look pretty cool, so perhaps that's what that'll be. If you have any suggestions, I'd love to hear them. So that was your advent calendar for the day. And the Halloween trivia fact that it's a long one and I wrote it down, that I came up with has to do with the movie The Shining, if you're familiar with that. Jack Nicholson and I can't think of her name, but it's the lady that played Olive Oyl in the Popeye movie. I don't know. So the fact is, the star of The Shining, Jack Nicholson, was a volunteer firefighter when he was younger. So he actually broke the door in the famous Here's Johnny scene too easily. It took them dozens of doors before he did it correctly for the movie. I also heard that, because they were prop doors, and I'm sure that's why he also did it too easily. And I heard that eventually they had to bring in a real door so he could break it. So there's your fact for the day. Sorry I didn't make it into a question really, but yeah. And I think that about wraps up Vlogtober Day 14. I stretched this out a lot longer than I thought, and I really hope that when I get out there he has found an answer to the soundbar problem. Wish me luck, guys. I will talk to you later. We are reaching very close to 1,000 subscribers. So if you haven't yet and you would like to click that down below, you could subscribe for more Vlogtober content and for more podcasting and shopping trips and yarn hauls and all that good stuff, because I do all of it. Yeah, I guess I will just talk to you guys later. I love you and I appreciate everybody stopping by, and I will talk to you later. Bye.